be real. Some days you're not leading strong, you're limping in, maybe with a cracked head or just worn thin. But what if your brokenness isn't disqualifying you? What if it's the very thing God wants to use, your brokenness? We'll start talking about showing up bruised but believing, because absolutely, you're still called, but it's going to take guts.
Got it. Oh, Bill. We're talking about Annemiek.
Say the whole name. Say the whole name.
Annemiek van Vleuten.
Annemiek
van Vleuten. I love that name. It's fun to say. You should try saying it. Say it once, though.
Annemiek van Vleuten. She's Dutch.
It's just fun to say. But here's the thing about Annemiek. Like, here's a woman that has a hugely successful bicycle career. Like, she is a cyclist. She's a cyclist, right? She's won like everything there is to possibly win. Everything from like the Dutch Nationals, started back in like the early 2010, 2011, won all these different road race championships, world championships, won an Olympic gold medal time trial. I mean, just like, she's all over the place. And she, in one of her last races, she didn't think she was going to do very well. She was broken. 3 days before that race, she wiped out, crashed,
and
broke her elbow.
That thing that thing that's in the middle of the arm where you've got two hands on the bike, and if you stand up, you're leaning on your arms. She broke her elbow. It's a broken thing.
It's that thing that you just barely bump and it hurts,
right?
And she broke it.
Yeah, not funny.
Not funny.
Not funny.
I don't understand the whole funny bone concept. But anyway, so here she is, right? And then she's in this last race. And she makes a decision that she's going to race anyway. Like, most people, like, I don't have a chance of winning because I have a broken elbow and it hurts. I think I'll just sit this one out. But here's what Annemiek did. She made a decision to ride that race for her teammate. Like, that's the only reason she decided to get into the race, because she could have easily just sat out, but she decided to get into the race. But Bill, I'll let you kind of tell how that race kind of ended up evolving during the race, and what ended up happening with Annemiek.
So it's a road race. It's not a Tour de France. It's a one-day race. It's 2.5, 3 hours, depending upon whatever. And coming down to the very end, there was a bunch. There was like 20 cyclists, and she was near the back of these 20 cyclists. And her partner, her teammate that she was racing for to help her win, was in the middle of that pack, and there's no way that she could break out. She just couldn't do it, just by virtue of her positioning. So Annemiek, with 600 meters to go in the race, after racing for almost 2.5 hours with a broken elbow and not standing up because she couldn't, because it puts weight on her elbow. With 600 meters to go, she just said, let's do it. Let's go. And she just does a breakaway that caught everybody by surprise. And by the time people started to go, wait a sec, who was that? She had just busted out into the lead. She's standing up. She's cycling for all she's worth. And you may remember this, or maybe not. Back in the 2016 Olympics in Rio, she had a strong lead in the road race. But her tires slipped out from under her in the last downhill before the very end, and knocked herself out and was out of the race. So in theory, she would have won the Olympics had it not been for that one little misstep and knocked herself out. But that's another story. She's got a broken elbow, and she just decides she's just going to race. She's just my teammate can't do it. I'm on it. Boom, and she wins this international race. It was down in Australia. This international race. Nobody expected her to do it with a broken elbow because she decided to show up. And she won she had the breakaway that got her a big enough lead. And of course, everybody else is catching up to her at the very end, but she won by just a couple of meters. But she won. And here's what she wasn't doing. She wasn't sitting back watching everybody else race because she has a broken elbow.
Right.
She wasn't pedaling along at the back of the pack because she had a broken elbow. She was out there doing her best despite the broken elbow. Annemiek is my cycling hero, and I honestly don't have many cycling heroes.
I get that. So there was an article written about that race, about her, and she had a couple of quotes in there, and she said that she was 100% committed to riding that day for her teammate. We mentioned that, right? Mm. And she said after she broke her elbow, there was no thought in her mind about possibly winning. the race or winning the championship. It was just that it was there 100% for her teammate. But then towards the end of the race, when as you explained, she realized that, hey, my teammate can't win this because she's caught in the pack, but I'm in a position that I can. And she's in that interview, she said it was only the last kilometer, which I don't know how long kilometers are. But it was only the last kilometer.
1,000 meters.
1,000 meters. That helps. It was only the last kilometer that she said her elbow did not hurt. And the only reason why was because she stopped thinking about it and started thinking about something else, right? But it's interesting, right? Sometimes we do things for other reasons, but it puts us in a position to win when we're not even thinking about winning, right? So, like, how does that work out in life for us sometimes, Bill?
Well, I think we can agree that I don't have a lot in common with female cyclists from who's Dutch and racing in Australia in a road race. I have a bike. It's under the deck. It hasn't seen the lights in 10 years. I need to have a yard sale. But I digress. Here's what we can take. I had Here's what we can grab from this idea of Annemiek winning the race with a broken elbow. Any excuse. But here's the first thing. Excuses are easy.
It would have been easy for her to come up with a million reasons for her to not.
Look, can you see that? See that? I got a hangnail. I can't do the I can't do the podcast today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Excuses are easy. Any excuse, okay? She had every right to step out, take the day off. I'm hurt. I got a broken elbow. But when purpose outweighs pain, you move anyway. And even though we're broken, we have all kinds of excuses. We have to set those excuses aside if we really want to make something of whatever it is we're doing or whatever it is you're doing. You have to take the excuses and put them aside. Stop using stop using any excuse to keep you from doing what you feel God wants you to do or how you feel you need to be stepping out and moving forward in life. That's the first thing. Excuses are easy. Lose the excuses, people.
Well, and I think along with that, though, is sometimes we have to just find a different reason, right? Like, because she had a broken elbow. In her mind, there was no way she could win. So therefore, there would be no reason to ride until she found a different reason to ride. And that was, hey, I got to do it for my teammate. So sometimes when we start feeling those excuses that I'm just going to come up with a reason for me not to do something today, find a different reason to do it.
Find a different reason to get out there and do it. And one of the things that she exemplified and emphasized was, I'm going to race for my teammate. I'm going to get out there to help my teammate. And ended up not working out that way. But she said, well, I'm going to win for my teammate. And she did. That's the first thing is excuses are easy. What's the second one, Jamie?
So I think that second one is that it's probably never going to be comfortable, and just accepting that right up front. So she knew she was going to ride how was it, 600 kilometers? Is that what the whole race was?
I don't know what.
It was a long race. It was a race that I wouldn't even want to go that far in my car, let alone on a bike. It was a long race, but she knew that if she was going to ride that far with a broken elbow, it was going to hurt the entire race. So just accepting right up front that it's going to hurt and it's not going to be comfortable, and just do it anyway. But by doing it anyway, even through the pain and the uncomfortableness, that's the only way you can truly set yourself up for success, right? Because had she never gotten that race, she would have never won that race. Even though getting into the race was not the purpose wasn't to win, she ended up winning anyway. So, but she could have said, my elbow hurts, I'm not going to run the race.
Yeah. So success is almost never comfortable. Anybody that you consider successful, they put in a lot of work and they went through a lot of pain to do it. Greatness often shows up after the crash, not before it. So
yeah,
if you're going to be successful in whatever it is you're going to do, guess what? It's not going to be comfortable. If you want comfortable success, I don't know, take up knitting. And even then you risk arthritis, but that's another story. Third thing is this.
I remember hearing a phrase one time, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes, good. The third thing is this. Courage isn't about confidence. It's about commitment. What's your final thought, Jamie?
Yeah, so I think it's this idea is like conditions are never going to be perfect for us. It's always going to be, something's always going to be wrong, or something's not going to be perfect, not going to be right. And we can use every one of those as an excuse. But if we want to do something remarkable, we want to do something that we've never done before, then we have to find a reason to do it, stay committed to it, and just get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And
Right.
then making sure that if we do that, that's what puts us in the position to win.
Great.
So you gotta kind of ask yourself, like, what have you been postponing or not doing because you're quote unquote hurt, or recognizing that it's gonna be uncomfortable. So is that your excuse? Is like, it's not gonna be comfortable, so I don't want to do it. And then do it anyway, and just put it out there.
Just
Put yourself in the race.
do it anyway. Realize that pain is part of your progress. So ask yourself this: what's your 600-meter surprise attack? You're hurt. You're hurting. But what are you going to do to get out there and nail it anyway? So if you like what we've been talking about, like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it. I'm Bill. That's Jamie.